You're watching Above the Net presented by Allstate with Alex Glover. As the postseason comes so near, we are here interviewing two of the biggest players in NCAA volleyball at one of the biggest programs, Kansas Volleyball. I'm here with Reese Ptacek and Ryan White. Reese, Ryan, please introduce yourselves to those who may not know you.
Hi, I'm Reese Ptacek. I'm a sophomore middle blocker from Prescott, Wisconsin.
And I'm Ryan White. I'm a grad student libero from Richland, Washington.
Can y'all just tell me how great this season has been for y'all?
Yeah, I mean, it's been super fun. Obviously, we had a really fun non-con. We got to play at a lot of cool places and really compete from the get-go, which is something that we talk about every day in our gym, like upping the level of our competitiveness. And then just to continue on and see how pieces are starting to fall together and see how our game's coming together. It's been really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with how preseason went and all of those away tournaments, it kind of made the home games even more special. So, like, really soaking in the home experiences and just living it up has been an amazing opportunity, I think, for us.
So, I want to go back to the beginning of both of y'all's careers. What initially drew you to Kansas?
So for me, originally, it had a lot to do with just like the history of the program. And honestly, strangely enough, it was kind of just the way the town felt. I'm from an extremely small town. My hometown population is about 4,000 people. And so for me, it was kind of important to go someplace that feels like home.
Mhm.
And Lawrence definitely felt like home for me. It was, I mean, for being a town that's, I think, like 100,000, it still felt very like small town feel. It didn't feel like a big city to me. So like that was huge. And then, I mean, just knowing like the history of the program, knowing at the time, Coach B, Caitlin, Billy, Tate, like they were an amazing coaching staff that I wanted to play for. So, I mean, it was just kind of all the right pieces for me. And yeah, that's kind of initially what drew me in.
Yeah, my process with Kansas actually started only a few months ago, earlier this year. But it was the same experience with Reese kind of when I picked Oregon State for the first time. I had a lot of family around there. Obviously, the Pacific Northwest is where I'm from, so it was great to have that family-like atmosphere all the time. And then when I graduated early, had a fourth year, and I had known the coaches from their time at Oregon. I really knew the type of people that they were, and so I was kind of all in. Like as soon as Matt asked me to come to Kansas with him, I was super stoked about it because I want to be a coach one day and I want to be around people who kind of push you to be better every single day, but also have all the qualities of someone you admire. So being around Matt and both Ericas has been really, really fun and it's been a great experience here so far.
I want to touch on that a little bit. For those who may not know, obviously the offseason may look a little bit different when you have a new coaching staff. What did the offseason look like for y'all coming into the fall?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot of breaking it down as simple as we can break it down. And especially with the way that Matt teaches, he's a very technical, very specific when it comes to are you passing with a left angle? Are you passing with a right angle? What is your step in serve receive? What's your step on the block? How are your feet set up? So the amount of technicality that goes behind it, he really broke it down super simple for us and then just slowly kind of builded from that base and kind of just continue to grow our skills. And so yeah, I mean, it was just kind of very slow to gradual increase. And then it got to a point where we're just playing a lot of volleyball. How can we mix our shots up? How can we score against a defense and just kind of playing around?
Yeah, and then I obviously got here in March, so I got here mid-semester. I was super thankful to be here for those 3 months because I wanted to play spring season with this team and get a little bit more time with them before I just came in and came out. So getting in here after they'd done all the technical breakdowns, and obviously we were still doing it at the time,
Mhm.
but we're very competitive. So every Fridays was like a compete day, like you're competing for points. Like there's a whole ranking system. The way that Matt does it is really, really cool. So to get in and see that, and then also have great opportunities like playing at Nebraska and getting in those atmospheres, like I think that all translated to us playing in those environments in preseason and even in like in regular season right now is we are very experienced playing at other people's homes and being comfortable in it now.
And I know head coach Matt Ulmer was also able to jump in and play with y'all. And I know as a player, that was something that made me improve so much because seeing a guy, they're so much stronger, they're physical. It's just a different type of game. How has that been as when it comes to y'all being so successful in the season? How do you think that that points to him also being able to be so competitive in practice?
Yeah, I mean, every day he brings his competitive spirit and the way that he coaches us. But on top of that, like when he gets into practice, like you can see that he implements every single thing that he teaches. So it's one of those things where it's like you see how successful he is. Like he gets in those practices and he makes us better when he's on the court. And so then we all strive to be that player when we're out there. But it's really cool that he can, practice everything that he preaches in that sense. And it's another level of respect. Not that we don't have it for him, like we have so much, but to see him in there and then execute all of those things, it's like, okay, we apply these, we're going to be very good.
And yeah, going off of that, I think it is super important that he has the ability to go in and show us the technique and skill he wants us to learn, because it's different that he came in and like we don't have any other older players. Like I don't have a middle that he brought in that knows his technique that like I can kind of work off of, except for like obviously looking back on film. So it's nice for him to be able to jump in and be like, okay, this is the way I want it to look. This is the way I want you to do it. And then I'm like, okay, perfect. That makes sense. And then also just like when he gets in and jumps in games and practices, and the way he communicates, it really is, that is the way that we should be communicating. That's the way that like the setter should be screaming at the attackers like get up, get up, get up. And that's the way that like us middle should be talking to our setters, the way that liberos should be talking to their like defense. And it's super important, I think, for us to see like this is what he wants and how can we turn that into ourselves.
You talk about how he's such a great example on the court, but I've also seen the TikToks that y'all do with everyone off the court with him as well. How has that been for y'all to have that balance of a coach that's so competitive and so tough, but also can show that fun side off the court?
Well, I can speak to this. Like, it is the exact thing that like I have wanted for like my entire career. Like, it is so fun to have that exact balance of it. And it's to the point where like we can go babysit his kids and like hang out with his family, and we're all doing Thanksgiving at his house next week. Like, and we're allowed to bring our families. Anything like that where you can see like the familial side and like how much he values his relationships and the fun, but also like there is an element of like expectation, right? So along with all of that, I think he balances it really well, but he also is not hot and cold with it. Like we can always get a feel of like when the expectations have to be on all the time, and then when we can have a little bit more fun in practice or do a little bit more things like around.
Yeah.
I love to see the relationship that y'all have with the coaching staff, but I want to talk about y'all's relationship because I know y'all both need each other. You need a great pass to be able to get that middle set. And then also you need a great block touch or someone to set up, make sure there's not any splits or seams. So what is the feedback loop that happens between y'all two on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like she knows that she can tell me whatever she needs and I'll just do it. Like today at practice, there was a setter dump that happened against K-State. And she was like, "What am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to dig that?" And I was like, "No, just tell your block to block it." So then she looks at me and goes, "Reese, block the ball." And I was like, "Thank you." Like, just like literally, just throw it at me and I'll take care of it. So, and then it's a lot of also like for me on the block, like if I think I took a good space away, then I tell her like, "Hey, was that a good block? Do you need me to shift? Do you need me to change? Do you need me to tell our pins to come in? Like, just tell me what you need." So, I mean, we're just doing our job, I think. Like,
Yeah.
you tell me what you need, I tell you what I need, and just kind of roll from there.
And I think it bounces pretty easily off of our relationship off the court. Like we're best friends, so it's super easy for me to be able to say anything to her. But on top of that, like when we first got in here, like everyone's learning new things. I was learning an entire new play style when I first got here. So to be able to balance all of that and just communicate openly was super easy. And then on top of that, like our block has worked so hard to be great this year, and it's been really successful so far. And we want to keep obviously seeing that improve, but it makes my job a lot easier. And so every time that I get a good dig or something happens with our defense, like I always want to highlight them because they're putting in the work and closing the block, getting hip to hip, doing all the things that they need to do to make our defense and like make the defense flow a little bit more.
Right.
So I think just giving that feedback where it's due, you might see a three every once in a while. Reese and I sometimes
Oh,
practice our honor system.
we practice out of system setting threes and
We
catch
will
out.
see that. We'll see if Matt Ulmer lets us do that.
Oh
We
God.
might see it.
I was a middle, so I know how those out of system sets look coming to the middle. They're hard. They're hard. So I give y'all's
Yeah.
props. But
Awesome.
going on to the beginning of the season, what kind of goals did you set for the team?
Yeah, so initially our biggest goal was to win conference. And I mean that we were close. I mean, we had a great game against Arizona State and it just kind of fell out of our hands. But then from there, it's to host and
Right.
in postseason. It's to host the first two rounds, and that's kind of been a huge goal for us. And then it's also to make it past the third round of playoffs. The last two years, we made it to the second round and then lost. So I think it's really important for us to continue. Like, okay, if we're able to get a host seed, can we win those two games and make it onto the third round? And then I think that's kind of been where our heads at right now, and just how can we get that? Kind
Yeah.
of.
I think Matt does a really great job of emphasizing like we are trusting our process more than the results at the moment. So we think about those things often and wanting to host. And obviously, the Final Four is in Kansas City. So that's like the ideal focus is like we would love to be there. We would
Yeah.
love to be there at the end of December. But on top of that, I think we do a really great job of just staying focused on like next opponent, next faceless opponent. Like, how can we keep doing our jobs and just getting better a little bit every single day so that by the time those moments come, we're prepared for them.
And you talked a little bit about those goals that you set at the beginning of the season, one of them being to win the conference. How competitive has the Big 12 been? You know, there's so much parity. Anyone is winning any game and it's switching each week.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I came from the Pac-12 beforehand before coming in here, and the Big 12 right now is the number one RPI team in the conference, is what I'm told.
Yeah.
So obviously we have competition where like every single day, like any team can get it.
Mhm.
And so I think it adds another layer of like the expectation for you to be on all the time is like very much there.
Yeah.
You have to have a very high expectation of yourself in terms of your play and like your teammates around you. But I also think it's super fun because like when we're not playing, getting to watch such high level volleyball, like watching the BYU Utah game, like we play those teams this week, so getting to watch that on Friday night, like it's super fun to just see the high level of volleyball all across the conference.
And I think it's important too that like there's no off game.
Yeah.
Every single game is going to be a tough game and it's going to be a hard one. So I think that really preps us honestly for postseason that we are ready to go no matter who the opponent is. We are ready to go. We've done this before every game. Can we be our best and continue to keep
Mhm.
pushing?
And what do these last 2 weeks look for like for y'all in terms of matches, selection Sunday, potentially senior night, coming back home, like you said, for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're playing at Utah and BYU this next week, which is going to be like very good competition for us on the road. Utah, I don't know what their like ranking is right now or anything like that, but they are a very, very good team. They have all the options to be a very good team at any given night, and obviously they just beat BYU. And then on top of that, BYU's been ranked, and their gym is a very tough environment, so it's going to be fun for us. Iowa State, again, another very competitive team that has been taking wins here and there. So we're just excited again, taking one day at a time and just prepping with our practice and kind of within ourselves. But it's going to be a very fun, competitive last 2 weeks.
And y'all have been on a 5 game winning streak. What do you feel like has clicked at this point in the season?
I really think it's just can we get our offense to be effective? Can
Mhm.
we continue to really push the defense to just be uncomfortable on the other side? Can we throw in a deep tip, make them think we're going to go deep, and then drop a short one? It's all about moving the defense and what are our tendencies, and then set ourselves up for those tendencies, but then hit opposite of what that is and just really shock the defense. I think that's really been our biggest thing right now between serving aggressive, being an aggressive serving team, and then just continue to be a smart offensive scoring team, I think.
I would agree. Yeah, like we want it bad. A lot of teams want it bad, but it's all about the preparation that you put in and how much you're willing to work for at the end of the day. So we want to set ourselves up for all the opportunities that come in postseason because we want it to be us at the end ultimately.
I think something that y'all have echoed throughout this whole interview is determination, also getting that offense started, and the serve and pass game. What do you feel like is the identity of Kansas volleyball right now?
Ooh.
Something I think about often, I don't know necessarily if it's like directly our identity, but I think a lot of like what you hear about Kansas volleyball is our 5 set matches at the beginning of the season, like all the performances, like the outcomes and things like that. But something that I keep telling myself is don't let where you start define where you finish. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now is like we've taken every opportunity, whether it's a win or a loss or a game that you played well in or a game that you didn't. And we're taking that to continue to grow because at the end of the day, like the teams that do the best are the ones that are still competing and still getting better in the December. And so I think just thinking about that, like we've had so many great opportunities and experiences that have shaped us as a team. And we still every single day, like we have this hunger to come in and get better. And we just continue to like add different elements to our game. So I think it's really fun.
And something that Matt always says is that from the very beginning, even when he first got here in March, that our goal is to peak in December. Our goal is not to like peak in the middle of conference, not the end of conference, but to peak after conference in post in December, ready to go for playoffs. And I think that's something that we're like you can see the progression is still getting there and we're still getting better. Like there's no plateauing. Like there's still room to grow. There's still plays to be made. There's still kills to be had. And it's just can we do it?
Mhm.
I love that you pointed that out. You want to peak in December and you want to be improving the most right now because once you get to that NCAA tournament, it's pretty much a clean sweep. You know, you lose and you're out. But where do you feel like are those areas that y'all have had the biggest improvement over the season?
I would still say like our offense and like how much we're working on that. I would also argue our serving. I think our serving, we've become a really strategic team. We have a lot of effort and like strategic stuff that goes into that in the background. So it's been really fun to apply that and have Chid there on the sidelines giving us a very specific spot, and 95% of us can hit it on any given moment, which I think is really cool. But the offense for sure, like I think Matt's talked about from the beginning how good our block and defense is and how that keeps us in rallies. And so to see the offense continue to do that, like we've had quite a few games where we've hit over 350, 350 as a team, which is really great. So to have setters producing that and then have hitters who can come in at any time and do that for our team has been really cool.
Yeah, and I think that progression has come a lot with like the way that our attackers have come in after practice with our setters and continue to work on those connections. Like we have put, I mean, our outsides, our middles, the right sides, like we have all put in so much work to continue to build the trust between us and the setters and the just overall offensive scoring strategies of all the attackers. And I think it's really starting to pay off.
Lots of highs on the season. I want to hear from both of y'all what it has been a highlight. Like when you think about a match that was just amazing, it was so exciting, or even a moment in practice, what moment are you thinking about?
I mean, I a big highlight for me is the people. Like it's really great to be around Reese and all of my best friends like all the time. That's the best part. Like that 6 week away block at the very beginning was so fun for us to just get to hang out nonstop. But game wise, I'm gonna say K-State. I think coming back like the first time it didn't end how we wanted it to. And so to come back and get a win in their house felt really, really good.
Yeah, I definitely the TCU match that felt pretty good, and I would have to agree that K-State match was pretty good too. But yeah, I really think so far one of the highlights has literally just been the people, and I mean same thing Ryan said, but it's just the way that us girls have all been clicking this season, and especially the all the people that Matt has brought in have been extremely important to me now in my life, and I think it's just there's nothing better than playing volleyball with your best friends. So I mean, it's just
We're
it's been
lucky.
yeah, we're very lucky to say the least.
And as you look towards the last couple of weeks of conference and the last couple of months of this season, what kind of emotions are both of y'all feeling?
I'm just excited. Like I'm savoring every single moment. College volleyball has been like and it always is up and down for every single athlete. Like there's so many things that go into it and there's so much work that you put in. But for me, especially in my last season of college volleyball, I'm just savoring every moment I can because it's genuinely like the best experience ever. Like everything that I've learned, all the people that I've met, being with this coaching staff and getting to learn every single day, like they are the most technical people on the planet and I love that. But just enjoying all of that. Like we get to go to Utah and I have 25 plus family members coming from the Pacific Northwest to see. So just like enjoying all those little moments that are kind of leading up to it and giving everything I can to this team.
Yeah, and I would think, I mean, we are so excited, and I really think it's important to acknowledge that, like, I don't think we're going to go down without a fight. It's going to be the way that we fought this entire season. I think it's not stopping anytime soon, and so I think just giving every game our best go, giving it our best shot, doing our work, doing our jobs, and just I think, yeah, it's good to just take this time to focus on what we've been working on, acknowledge that we've worked hard on it, and now can we implement it and just be Kansas volleyball.
And then Ryan, in your last season, I know senior night coming up, and each match elicits a couple of different feelings for each athlete. What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to the last couple of weeks and months?
I think just competing, like volleyball has been a sport that I've loved since I started it when I was 15 years old. And I just am so like grateful to be in the gym every single day. So the idea of getting to play like this will be my first postseason, which will be super super fun. And then on top of that, just getting to compete every single day, like the TCU matches, the K-State matches. It's so fun to try and bring out a different level of yourself every time you get in the gym and every time you get onto the court to play a game. So really just enjoying those. Like there's nothing like competing, especially in the number one volleyball conference in the nation right now.
And then Reese, for yourself, obviously being able to do this at such a young age, I feel like a lot of people don't get the role that you have on your team, sitting at the top of the blocking leaderboard and hitting percentage. What do you look forward to the most when it comes to the rest of the season, and then also having a couple of years left here at Kansas?
Yeah, I think it's just, I mean, for the season, continuing to see can our team continue to keep building off of what we've learned and continue to keep being keeping, I guess I already said it, Kansas volleyball. I think it's really important that we have put in the work. And I think it's also just like a big part of it for me is always like I want to win and I want to compete for the people I'm playing with. So it's like knowing that this is Ryan's last year and knowing that like our seniors are going to graduate and they're going to leave. Like for me, my focus now is like I want to win and I want to play my best volleyball for them. Like I want them to go out on a high note. So that's just kind of where my head's at. And I guess it's just that's going to continue to be the normal for the next couple of years. I want to keep winning for my team. I want to win for my coaches. I want to win for Kansas volleyball and the fans and the program. Like this sport means so much more to me than just whatever's going on in my personal life, whatever I have going on. It's more about everyone else. I want to do it for them. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
You mentioned the sport means so much to you. Everyone knows in the volleyball world that volleyball has been sprouting as far as the sport and the national coverage. What has that been like for y'all being in the middle of that?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It is so fun. And obviously like playing in the Pacific Northwest first to start, the volleyball is great out here, but coming out here where especially in the Midwest it's sprouting has just been the most insane thing. We go to the grocery store and people are like, "Are you Ryan and Reese? Like, are you guys on the volleyball team?"
Yeah.
We went to the pumpkin patch like 3 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
someone texted us and said that you guys were like at the pumpkin patch. Can we get a photo? Like, they like found us at this random pumpkin patch an hour away. So it's just so cool because not only do we get to see like little girls experiencing it, and hopefully they're starting this like journey of like getting into sport and wanting to play it in college and just getting to experience that whole thing, but you see like the parents and you see everyone just like kind of coming together around the sport of volleyball, which I find so fun. Like my parents come to every single game, and so I'm very lucky to have that experience, and I'm so excited for the younger generation and all the other people that get to experience like that. But on top of that, it's just I think it's so like uplifting to us to see how many people love the sport as much as we do. Like even just watching it and even just getting to be in horse or getting to be in like a different arena and watching the sport itself.
Yeah, and I mean, just knowing that more people have access to watch our games and to get to know us through whether it be social media and our TikToks or recordings like these, like I think it's cool that they get to see a side of us, not just volleyball, but also personal, and that kind of builds in their trust for us, in the way they look up to us, and I think that's super cool. But also, it's great knowing that like my family back home in Wisconsin, I'll get a text from someone I haven't heard in forever and be like, I was at a restaurant and you just happened to be on the TV. Like I think that's so cool that we're able
Yeah.
to have that experience with other people and like you could still feel connected to them even when you're not home. But yeah, I also think that a big part of it is the little girls. Like I love when girls have the confidence after a game to come up and say hi to us. I know they're super shy to do it, but I like that to me is the biggest like after a great game, like after the TCU game, I had a couple little girls come up to me and I was just like, oh, this is what I live for. This is what I live for, that they want to do what we do and we do it well enough that they're like, I want that. I want to be that. I want to do that. And it's heartwarming to say the least.
Obviously, y'all getting recognized has been a result of the sport volleyball growing itself, but also just the support of the Big 12 and then also y'all's own program in Kansas. Can you tell me about what that support has been like for y'all?
Yeah, I mean it's so important, especially for Kansas volleyball itself. Like coming in, we had a lot of new pieces, right? Like a whole new team that we want people to get to know, a new coaching staff that we want people to know. And on top of that, I just think that every team brings its own unique perspective and its own unique style of play to the gym or every event center that they play in. So it's been really cool for us just to have that because I think the more that we can talk about our team and what our team's doing and the sport of volleyball in general, like the bigger it's going to grow. And I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and it's just like it's like an extra pat on the back almost. Like you have the support from all these other fans and you know that they're doing nothing but cheering you on as loud as they possibly can. And it's just like you can't ask for anything better than that, honestly.
Oh, that's so amazing. Ryan, Reese, thank you so much for meeting with us today. Congrats on a successful season already and good luck on the rest of your season. We'll definitely be watching.
Thank
Perfect. Thank
you.
you.
You've been watching Above the Net, presented by Allstate.